And hello everybody once again. Hello Wadsworth. I am Tommy Maroon here for the Tommy Maroon Sports Show. We got so much stuff to talk about as usual. And it's going to be all baseball because, well, the All-Star festivities. And don't worry, the two darkest days of sports, the day before and after the All-Star game, in which there are no four major sports, those are over. Baseball's starting. Football's around the corner, though I'm not going to be talking about football today. One can definitely expect I'm going to talk about football soon in the Browns. But for now, it's baseball. It's the Tommy Maroon Sports Show, and it starts now. And it's going to start once again with my trivia question ball game, and here it is. Now, when was the last time Michigan won the College World Series? The correct answer was 1962. So Michigan has definitely had some frustration, and a lot of people would empathize them here in Ohio, but this is Ohio, not Michigan. Everybody here in Ohio hates Michigan. So yeah, we'll probably laugh at them until they win. But you never know. Maybe there's some Michigan fans. I have a friend who's a Michigan fan. How are we friends? Just kidding, he's a great guy. But now let's start off with the All-Star festivities. It's time to look at Play Ball Park. I was there. It was beautiful. There was a virtual reality home run derby in which a local Cleveland fan was able to take home the honors of being the champion. There was batting and pitching practice, and I don't mean to brag, but I did the best out of all my family for pitching, throwing just a measly 47 miles per hour. But hey, better than everybody else. There was also a Cooperstown Latin American and Negro League exhibits. Pretty cool to see culture and baseball collide. I always like seeing that stuff. And speaking of culture and baseball colliding, there were living members of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, whom you may know from the movie A League of Their Own, which has been over 25 years since the movie came out. So, yes, I was able to talk with them. I was also able to talk with Andre Thornton and Carlos Baerga, who were there. There was also a Coca-Cola exhibit and all those tents outside of the, Huntington Convention Center. So much fun. And for those of you that didn't know, there was more outside than inside. So now let's look at the All-Star Futures game, which for the first time ever was the American League National League, because the U.S. was constantly dominating the world. Here's Sam Huff hitting a monster two-run shot in the 7th inning to tie the game, and it would turn out to be something. There's Sean Casey and Jim Tomey, two guys I love watching on MLB Network, going absolutely crazy. It ended up being a 2-2 tie, as that would be the first time ever we'd see a tie in the All-Star Futures game. There's Sam Huff once again with that game-tying monster shot. Taylor Trammell, who was the Futures game MVP last year, got caught stealing home this year. And Joe Adele for the Anaheim Angels, he's their biggest prospect. He made a great diving catch in the 8th inning. Now time for my favorite part of the All-Star weekend, the All-Star Celebrity Softball game. Now, for the first time since 2003, it was not the American League National League. Instead, it was Cleveland against the world, in which Cleveland Hall of Fame and softball celebrity people were going up against other celebrities and baseball players from across the world. And unfortunately, the world was able to beat Cleveland by a score of 21-16. Quite a crying shame. But you know what? Folks, remember Travis Hafner. Remember him, that monster home run hitter back in 2000s. Well, he needs to come back with the Indians because he hit a moonshot in the softball game that goes into the right field seats. That's the first time ever in the history of softball game in which a ball has gone over the regular wall. It's crazy to think that. But Kenny Lofton, Carlos Baerga, the Miz, who was MVP last year, not to mention J.R. Smith, also had an inside the park home run. Yeah, they all went deep. So now let's look at the home run derby. And for the second time ever, we saw a rookie win the home run derby. And it's that guy, Pete Alonso. There it was. You gotta love those bat flips, am I right? Pete the Polar Bear Alonso. He had a crazy home run derby victory. He was the first rookie since Aaron Judge 2 years ago to win it. But really, it was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. who stole the show, his father being the greatest, or one of the greatest hitters of our generation, of last generation, I'll say. But Guerrero hit 91 homers, which is a home run derby record. And what is also a home run derby record is that he had 40 in one round. He had 29 in the first round, 40 in the second round, 22 in the third round. Hard to believe that was not enough for the rookie. And Matt Chapman for the Oakland Athletics, he filled in for Christian Yelich for the top seed because, well, Yelich had some back problems, but he was able to be in the All-Star game. A total of 312 home runs were hit. Last year was the record before with 221. So just to imagine the big difference between first and second. Now it's time for the All-Star game. And in case you didn't know, the junior circuit, the American League won 4-3. It's the 7th year in a row the American League has won it, and the 19th in the last 23 years, including the infamous 2002 tie, in which they ran out of pitchers, so they just decided to call it a tie. And, yep, that was very hated by fans. Masahiro Tanaka for the Yankees got the win. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers got the loss. And our oldest Chapman was the man who recorded the save. So let's look at Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber, look at this. On a full count to Acuna. Ronald Acuna Jr. Shane Bieber strikes him out to strike out the side. Look at that right downtown. What are you looking at, sir? But anyways, he became the third player to win All-Star Game MVP at home, with the first two being Sandy Alomar Jr. here in Cleveland and Pedro Martinez at Boston in 1999. CC Sabathia, speaking of the Indians, he was honored as there was a standing ovation in the top of the ninth when our oldest Chapman, his teammate, was 1 out away from recording the save. Not to mention, before the game, he threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and there's Carlos Carrasco during the touching stand-up to cancer moment. Because in case you didn't know, Carlos Carrasco has been battling leukemia, and one can only hope for a safe and strong recovery for Cookie. Quite a shame. He will be back, hopefully by the end of the month. That's what he says. He says he's going to be throwing. And to go on with the emotion, there was a moment of silence for Tyler Skaggs, which I just got the news about Skaggs just hours after recording my last show. He had died just 8 days before the All-Star game, and many players wore number 45 patch. Mike Trout wore number 45 during the All-Star game in his honor, and many fans will forever love him. Just the emotion when Anaheim's going to play Seattle tomorrow here or there at Anaheim Stadium. Just imagine all the emotions there. Not going to be easy for them, and for a team that's in the playoff push, one can only be rooting for them. And they're going to get a lot of love and support, and they get the love and support from me, a diehard Indians fan. So now, time for the mid-season recap, and we can look at all the teams up there. The hot teams are the Yankees, Twins, and Astros. Those teams are leading their respective divisions and leading the divisions in the National League. You got the Braves in the East, the Cubs in the Central, and who else in the Dodgers in the West. Now, some ice-cold teams, that's right. Really cool teams that are below 400 winning percentage. Baltimore Orioles, the Toronto Blue Jays, Kansas City Royals, Detroit Tigers, and who else? And the Miami Marlins. Quite a shame for the Marlins fans out there. But you know what? There's been a lot of talk about them rebuilding. We'll see if it's going to happen, or we'll see if it's all for naught. So now let's look at the batting leaders. Leading the MLB in batting average is Jeff McNeil for the New York Mets with a 349. Whit Merrifield for the Kansas City Royals leads the MLB in hits with 117. Christian Yelich leads the MLB in homers with 31. And we're batting the home run derby for not for back problems. Josh Bell for the Pittsburgh Pirates has 84 RBIs, which leads the MLB. Adalberto Mondesi, the Kansas City Royals, yes, that whitey ball team, has 28 stolen bases, leads the MLB in that. In case you don't know, whitey ball is not when you're going to try to hit home runs constantly. It's you get on base, you run around the base paths, try to score, and you rely on good pitching. All the Royals are lacking in the whitey ball scenario is the pitching, and I forgot to mention defense as well. But the Royals have defense. To me, they may be a good team in the future if they can get Merrifield and Mondesi good, and Soler as well. Suarez is, of course, their big home run hitter. Now time to go to pitching. Leading the MLB in ERA is Hyun-Jin Ryu of the Dodgers with 173. Lucas Giolito and Lance Lynn, Giolito of the White Sox and Lynn of the Rangers lead the MLB with 11 wins. Justin Verlander, the Houston Astros, leads the MLB in WHIP with .81. Mad Max Scherzer of the Washington Nationals has 181 strikeouts, which leads all the MLB. And Kirby Yates of the San Diego Padres leads the MLB in saves with 30. Time for my award predictions. And for MVP, I'm saying it's going to be who else than Mike Trout, but also DJ LeMahieu should be a good competitor as well. He's a phenomenal fielder and really good at hitting as well. But you know what, my friends? If he can win the batting title, which I believe he is leading the American League in batting average, he will be the first player in over 100 years to win the batting title since that guy right there, Ed Delahanty. Now, what I mean for winning the batting title is that he's going to be first player in over 100 years to win the batting title in both the American League and National League. Delahanty did it in 1902, and 1 year later he was swept over Niagara Falls, and not joking, he actually was. So DJ LeMahieu, if you try to go to Niagara Falls, cancel it. If you want to go to Niagara Falls, don't go. I know it's a tourist attraction. I know it's a natural beauty, and yeah, just don't go. Don't be like Ed Delahanty. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but really, don't go, DJ, because don't want to join Ed Delahanty. But for Cy Young, I think it's going to be Lucas Giolito of the Chicago White Sox, Jake Odorizzi of the Minnesota Twins, or Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros. Justin Verlander is indeed a Hall of Famer. For Rookie of the Year, it's going to be Vlad Guerrero Jr., or, in my opinion, being a diehard Indians fan, I got a good view of this guy, Oscar Mercado. That's right, Oscar Mercado should win it. He'll be the first one to win Rookie of the Year for the Indians in 29 years. National League, it's going to be two guys. Yep, you guessed it, Belly and Jelly. Yep, you can see these guys playing a game of MVP in an MLB commercial. Yelich sort of has the edges on the stats. I think that Christian Yelich should be able to win MVP. Once again, Christian Yelich to win MVP, unless if Bellinger can get it all going again. Cy Young is going to be Hyun-Jin Ryu, Max Scherzer of the Washington Nationals, or Luis Castillo of the Cincinnati Reds. Of course, the National League Central is up for bid. We're going to see who is going to win it or who's going to be in dead last. But whoever's in dead last really isn't a bad team. Everybody is good. You got the Cubs, you got the Brewers, you got the Cardinals, you got the Pirates, you got the Reds. Of course, the Indians beat up on the Reds. Indians have a 6-game winning streak, by the way. For National League Rookie of the Year, I feel like it's going to be Fernando Tatis Jr. of the San Diego Padres or Pete Alonso of the New York Mets. I'm saying Pete Alonso, though Fernando Tatis is pretty fast. For Manager of the Year, I'm going to say it's Dave Roberts of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the team he is playing together. In the American League for Manager of the Year, I feel like it's going to be a good battle between Aaron Boone of the New York Yankees and Rocco Baldelli of the Minnesota Twins. So one half of baseball has been so much fun. I can't wait to see what's going to be next, folks. Who do you think it's going to be? You think that the Rays are going to come back? You think we're going to make a comeback to win the AL Central? We have had a lot of momentum. Is there going to be a crazy comeback in the National League West or American League West? Do the Phillies get together, or do the Nationals come back? And who's going to win the National League Central? Now, in case you don't know, for the wild cards in the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays would have the first wild card, and Cleveland Indians would have a second one. And for the National League, it's a big jumble between Philadelphia Phillies, Washington Nationals, Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cardinals, Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, and, of course, the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies are a fine hitting team, I must say. So, I guess that will do it all for today. But don't go change your television sets yet, because it's time for, once again, my trivia question of the week. Now, I won't be back here for 2 weeks, so you got a long time to think this through. So, listen up to my trivia question of the week. Now, who holds the record for most All-Star appearances in the MLB? That's right. I want to know what player holds the record for most All-Star Game appearances in Major League Baseball. Got your answer? Because we'll see if you know it 2 weeks from now. So, I guess I'll do everything. Probably more baseball and Browns training camp. And, of course, I will give my NFL picks, NHL picks, and NBA picks, but mainly NFL picks coming up because the football season is going to be in early September. High school sports, of course. We're going to talk about this being Wadsworth. So we'll talk about Wadsworth Grizzlies and all the other teams in the Suburban League. So, yep, that will do it all for this week. Once again, this is Tommy Maroon here signing off. See you in 2 weeks.